Meet Dr. Regina Jennings, born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. At age 14, she ran away from home and navigated the tough streets of Philadelphia, encountering outlaws, criminals, and corrupt police brutality. By the age of 16, inspired by a film on Huey P. Newton and Bobby Seale, she took a late-night flight to Oakland, California.
And the best thing I ever did was to join the Black Panther Party for self-defense in Oakland, California. That's why the t-shirt. And my books are about that experience, and they are about the leaders in the Black Panther Party. And some of my books are about Black people that resisted slavery and won.
To this day, Dr. Jennings still considers herself a Black Panther, having earned a baccalaureate in English, a master's in English and creative writing, and a PhD in African American studies. She is an accomplished author of over 30 academic articles and several prominent books, including the international award winner, Malcolm X, and the Poetics of Haki Madhubuti. Dr. Jennings continues to volunteer in community organizations.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Dr. Rhonda M. Lawson. And yes, we are about to speak with the legend. I'm telling you, there's so many things that we can call this woman, but one thing you're not going to call her is scared, because this is a bold woman. And I am so honored to call her my friend, to call her my mentor. I'm looking forward to sitting at her feet once again and listening to what she has to say. So without any further ado, first of all, welcome to the Horizons Author Lounge. But without any further ado, we are about to bring on Dr. Regina Jennings. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Hello. It's so wonderful to see you. It's always great to see you, Dr. Rhonda.
Yes, it is great seeing you as well. And you think I'm playing. I told you before, you tore it down at the Black History Month Literary Weekend. You were our special guest. And so that intro that we showed at the beginning of the show was the intro that we played during the brunch. But there was a young man who I went to college with, who flew all the way here after seeing you on the show the last time you were here. And the first thing he said is, "Where is my sister? I need to go meet Dr. Jennings." And he made a beeline to go talk with you. And I think he stayed by your side the entire time we were at the winery.
Yes. And it was so good to talk with him. And, you know, one of the things that I want to do with the remainder of my life is to make sure that our people know everything that I want you to know, everything that I know about our history. Why is that important? It's important because it's no way in the world that mainstream schools and even colleges and universities will actually give you the 411, the spotlight on the African in the Americas. Because you see, we came from Africa. Everybody understands that. But we were transformed here. We were transformed into an enslaved people. What does that mean? That means a lot, Dr. Rhonda. It means that our ancestors went through a kind of hell that we can't even imagine. And one of the things that I'm doing today, well, not really today, but like every Tuesday and Thursday on Readings with Regina, you see the banner. I created a YouTube channel where, guess what? I am giving our people a university or college education for free. Because everything that I am reading, because I'm actually reading from books that I taught in universities, where young people, and not so young people, elders, young people, the in-between people, paid thousands of dollars to come to a college or university to study with me. Well, I'm giving that same kind of information online every Tuesday, every Thursday, Readings with Regina on YouTube, because I'm taking my life, maybe it's because of my age, but I'm taking my life every day, Rhonda, exceedingly seriously.
Yes.
Because it is so much that we do not know about our history. Like I did a show where I talked about Haiti in 1804, when they literally kicked out the French that had been oppressing them, working them to death. Every 7 years, the French that controlled Haiti would bring in a new
Right.
boatload of Black people, because they worked Black people so hard that every 7 years they were just dying. They were just dying. And I'm going to stop in a minute to let you ask me a question. But
No, you keep going. This is what this is all about.
Okay, cool. Check it. This is Malcolm X's birthday.
Yes, it is. Yes.
Look, people, if you haven't already, light a candle for your ancestor. Light a candle for your ancestor that loved you so much, he put his life on the line for us. Okay? And understand this too. Let me show you this book. I'm one of the first sister writers to write a book on Malcolm X. This is called Malcolm X and the Poetics of Haki Madhubuti. You come to my website or go on Amazon, you'll see this wonderful book that won an international book award. This is a monster. I mean, let me see. I think it took me 10 to 14 years to do the research and write this book. And what I did in that book is to show that during the 1960s and 1970s, right? Malcolm X inspired the poets of that time period. Okay, they were Black power poets. So Malcolm X became their muse. In fact, one of the reasons that I even joined the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense is when I heard Bobby Seale do a poem, I was like, oh, I mean, those poets treated words like they were weapons, and they were an inspiration to a whole generation of 1960s people. And Dr. Rhonda's going to appreciate this, because I always do this. Dr. Rhonda's hair. See, in the 60s, we didn't know nothing about Dr. Rhonda's hair. Of course, Dr. Rhonda wasn't around then either, but that's not the point. What my point is this. The 60s was so powerful that sisters just said, you know what, we are not going straight. We ain't straightening our hair no more. And understand, now, Dr. Rhonda more than likely went to a beautician who braided her hair. We didn't have, all we did, we just said, no more straightening. Our hair was everywhere. Okay? I mean, it was, but we were trying to make a point, and it was a point that literally came from Malcolm X. Other people too, but Malcolm, his oratory was so strong, so powerful. It would just shock you. And the way that he straight up talked to white folk, oh my Lord, he didn't mince his words, and he was brilliant. And one of the things that I want everybody to hear my voice right now, if you haven't read, not listened to, but read the speeches of Malcolm X, I really want you to get a Malcolm X book. They're around. They're pretty cheap. Listen or read his actual words. You will learn so very much, and you will absolutely bring his spirit into your consciousness, which is something that we have to do. This is why I even wrote this book. Now, this is another book. I'm just in this book. It's called By Any Means Necessary. One of my essays on Malcolm is in this book, and a whole bunch of other people have written their take on Malcolm as well. And my book on Malcolm, I literally trace the Black historical poetic tradition in this country. First I give you Malcolm and his effect on Sonia Sanchez, Haki Madhubuti, Larry Neal, Amiri Baraka, and on and on and on. Then I take you back to a journey in time. I take you back to the first enslaved poet in this country, Phyllis Wheatley. And she was enslaved, but she had half decent a master and mistress. They taught her how to read. This is like in the 1790s. They taught her how to read, and she was so brilliant, she just started writing poetry, and the poetry was good. Okay.
I don't know if
And
I ever told you that the name of my elementary school in New Orleans was Phyllis Wheatley.
wonderful. I don't think
Mm-hmm.
you did. That is good to know. And I hope them students know who she was and what she went through. And the racism in this country, Dr. Rhonda, was so thick that
Yes.
her owner parents couldn't even get her book of poetry published here. They had to go to England and visit a duchess who said, okay, we will publish her work. Because Thomas Jefferson, who was president then, he said, look, this N-word didn't write this good poetry. That's
Of
impossible.
course not. That would be crazy.
Exactly, exactly. So it's imperative, especially on a day like this, where it's Malcolm X's birthday, that we really look at our own history. Okay. And I last week I read a book. I'm reading The Narrative of Frederick Douglass, and I'm also reading 1845, and I'm also reading The Narrative of William Wells Brown, 1858. Both of these brothers were enslaved since children, and then they take you on their journey into adulthood as they were slaves. And you know, one of the things, and this gonna just blow your mind, Dr. Rhonda. You ready for your mind to be blown?
I'm
You
ready.
ready for your mind? But okay, here we go. Look, 1858. William Wells Brown wrote, "Forget the Democrats,
Mm. Okay.
forget the Republicans. We
Okay.
got to self." I had to say, I said, wait a minute. No, he couldn't have said this. He could. I mean, it was just because this is 1858 that this
Yes.
once enslaved brother, and what he, Lord have mercy, he was a child. The master sold his mother.
Mm.
The master sold his sister. The master sold his brother. But wait, the master was his uncle.
Wow.
The master was his uncle.
Mm.
Enslavers sold their own family members because slavery was legal and it was encouraged
And it
in
was
this
big
country.
money.
It was big money. You could look, you could be a poor white man, you get a couple of slaves. Oh, I'm just reminded of something. A poor white dude, this is a true story in Fred Douglass. He bought a enslaved woman, and then he called his friend from down the road, and he said, "I want you to impregnate her, so I can have more slaves."
Mm.
And you know that poor sister had twins, then had another one that, and worse, if there could be a worse, these enslavers were Christian. They
Of
went to
course they were
church.
Christian. Yeah, they thought that they were doing the right thing.
Yes,
And that's the
they
craziness.
literally did. They did, and the law backed them up. So it's
Mm-hmm.
these kind of stories that I actually literally read and then discuss with my audience. And I also tell everybody who listens to me, share my videos with your children. There's no, bad language when I'm reading. There's, I'm reading from books that brothers and sisters wanted us to know in this 21st century. These brothers and sisters who somehow taught themselves to read, Rhonda, because they couldn't go to school. Like with Frederick Douglass, as he was about 12 or 13, there was this decent white minister, and he
Mm-hmm.
started a little school just for the enslaved people. I don't mean to laugh. Them white folks burnt down the school, were ready to chop him to pieces. So you see, so even decent white people, good white people that didn't want this monstrosity going on in their country, if they stood up, they could either be killed, and they certainly
Mm-hmm.
would be banished. Now, if they lived through it, they would be banished. They would have to move.
Right.
Okay.
So, for those of you who are just joining us, first of all, thank you for joining us. But we are talking with Dr. Regina Jennings, who is a member of the original Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. Not the
That's right.
Black Panthers that you saw on TV, on the movie. The movie was good, but we're not talking about that kind of Black Panther. This is an authentic, real Black Panther member who she actually made it up in her mind that the Black Panthers needed her. So she flew across the country so she can be a part of this. And that story to me has always been hilarious the way you told it. But I want you to tell it because you learned the lesson that you didn't even think you were going to learn when you
That's right.
finally got to California and met the Black Panthers.
That is exactly right. And see, Sister Rhonda, that's why I know there's a God. I don't even now. Some of my friends are intellectual, okay, and they are atheists. They got that. Atheism comes from Europe. It does
Mhm.
not come from Africa. You go to Africa, these people are going to be something where God is involved. Now, I had no idea what I was doing when I jumped a late plane to go to Oakland, California, or what in the world I was going to do with you and Bobby, with my 17-year-old self. Okay. I was so confused at that time that I didn't even know what to tell people. So I didn't tell people because I didn't know how to explain something is pushing me. I got to be a Panther. Now I know that that was my ancestor, that was God, that was my angels, so that
Yes.
I could be here today to tell you all my story. I didn't even think it was unusual. That's how heavy the force was that pushed me to go on my first plane ride to go out there and help Huey. But I don't know what I thought I was going to do with the brothers. Truly, I did not. But I just felt, I said, they need me. I know that they need me. And Huey Newton is no longer here. Bobby Seale is. I've spoken with him a couple weeks ago. So I know that that particular story of mine, that journey of mine, people need to know about it because I now recognize that we were stepping in a resistance tradition that
Mm.
had engulfed America. Check, Rhonda, you're going to love what I'm about to say. Girl, do you know that there was a sister on a coffle? A coffle back on slavery is when they chain you all together and you got to walk like this. Okay, they move you from one section of America to another. Well, there was a sister in 1829, pregnant. Do you know
Mm.
she overturned the coffle?
What?
Yeah, I'm going to be reading about her tomorrow on my show, Reading with Regina.
Okay.
This is I can't find a lot of information on her. I never heard of her, but there was another good sister researcher found this one little sentence or two in 1829 on board a coffle. A pregnant enslaved black woman overturned I don't know how girl did that. I don't know. She overturned the coffle and got the brothers to get up and get weapons and take care of business.
Mm.
So from that one historical fact, uh Shirley Ann Williams, who's a novelist, she's dead now. Oh, I miss her. Anyway, she wrote a book about Dessa Rose. That was the child's name, Dessa Rose. Okay. And there was a white woman. These are historical facts now. In that same year, that used her plantation as a refuge for runaway slaves. So these are two historical incidences. Now, the revolutionary pregnant woman and the white woman that used her plantation for refuge for runaway slaves, they never got together. But as a writer, and you'll appreciate this, Rhonda, as a writer, my Shirley Ann Williams, who wrote a novel about this, put these two characters together. So
Okay.
she took a historical fact, a pregnant woman led a revolt on a coffle, and she matched her up with a white woman who did not believe in slavery, and she used her plantation, had a little bit of money, used her plantation as a refuge for runaway slaves. Now, these two things happen, right? What the novelist did, what the writer did, was to put these two characters together. That novel is a monster. It is beautifully done. It is based in historical fact, and it shows you, first of all, it shows you woman power. That's one thing about it that is remarkable.
Yes,
And
yes.
it also shows you, I, I, I keep saying this over and over because I just can't get over it. A pregnant woman, I've been pregnant. A pregnant woman let her revolt. Girl, are you kidding me? My
That's
ankle against
amazing.
my
That is
head.
amazing.
You know,
You know,
yes,
I would venture to say that your love for history and your love for literacy started with the Black Panther movement.
yes, it did. I left home at 14. Boom. Now you know I didn't go to school. I mean, how you going to be a runaway and go to school? Now,
Right.
sometimes I did go to school when I felt like it. I'd go, but I left home very early and I hated school. I never even thought about going back to school until I joined the Black Panther Party for self-defense. And when Bobby Seale and Huey Newton were like, well, you got to read these books, I was like, read. I was stunned. I thought I'd have my gun. I'd go after some white folks that had been mean to me. Honest, that's what I thought. I really didn't be educated. Being with the Panthers elevated my love for learning. Absolutely. Nothing else. Not the schools, not my family members, not society, not TV. It was the Black Panther Party for self-defense. This is also why when I read last Thursday, on Readings with Regina, where William Wells Brown, 1858, said, the heck with the Democrats, the heck with the Republicans. I said, now he's saying this during slavery? Look, independent Black organizations are the way to go. And what Dr. Rhonda Lawson does with writers, with literature, that is the way to go. I don't want to offend anybody. If you're just a Democrat from the bottom of your heart, you feel so bad because Biden got fine. I don't care. But outside of those established systems, Black people must develop their own.
Yeah.
To me, I've lived it with the Black Panther Party for self-defense, and I even see it today. You cannot rely on the establishment to give you all and your children all that you need as a people. And we are a people. Yes, we're Americans, that's fine. But we're also Black Americans. Oh, by the way, let me show you this again. It was Malcolm X
Yes.
who would say the so-called Negro, because they were Negroes then, the so-called Negro. And then it was Malcolm in a speech when he was booming it. He said, we're not Negroes, we're African. We're African American. He is the first public intellectual to name us as a nation. Oh, yes, he did. Now,
Yeah.
other people, I'll name the names on this one. Jesse Jackson took that Malcolmian word and acted like it was his. Now, all he had to do was credit Malcolm, just say, I got that. He didn't.
Right.
He said, we African American. Malcolm is the one, and Dr. Rhonda, he said it. He was killing this speech. The words were just coming out like a waterfall, and it hit him. His ancestors spoke right to him. No, we're not Negroes. We are Africans, African American. That was Malcolm X. So what does that mean to me? What it meant to me is this. He is a nation builder. He
Amen.
built a nation by a name change.
Amen. Amen. Now, I know we only have a couple minutes left, but I don't want anybody to sleep on the fact that you mentioned that you dropped out of school at 14. You are now Dr. Regina Williams, excuse me, Dr. Regina Jennings. And so if you can like very quickly talk about how that love for learning that you developed with the Black Panthers turned into your pursuit of education. And
Okay,
because I need people to know that just because you started off somewhere, that does not have to be where you ended.
that's right. And you are absolutely right. Check it. I get to Oakland, California. I realized that to stay in the party, really, because they would have kicked me out. They didn't play.
Hmm.
You had to learn. Now, what was nice about the way that they taught, they understood that many of us just didn't know a lot of things. So they were very kind. And plus we were all young and Black. We made learning fun. Okay? It was like having Black teachers, even though I'm in my teens and they were just in their 20s, but they seemed so much more, educated than I. So when I came back to Philadelphia from Oakland, that never left me. Not at all. The joy that I found in learning. I could better understand my Black family who didn't come after me when I left home. I could understand that distance because I was introduced to slavery. I didn't really think that much about slavery, but once I really studied it, I said, oh, I see what they are about. Because, Rhonda, we still do have some of them traits from when we were held in bondage. It's just no question.
Right.
So what I wanted to do and am doing, I wanted to learn as much as I could so that I could teach. That's how the connection be. And by the way, people, if you think the university, I went and knocked on the door of Temple University, they said, "Oh, come on in, Regina." What? I had no skills. They were like, "Look, no, you better go to community college and get your GED." And I was like, "Oh," because I had forgotten I didn't really know how to write and all that kind of stuff. So it took me years to even get into the university, to get into a baccalaureate program. It
Yes.
took years. But if you stay with anything, my people, if you stay with anything that is for your self improvement and the improvement of your people, hey, your ancestors, your angels, whoever put this universe together, they will help you. Because I don't know how I got through, but I got through. And by the way, I was having children. A man I married had been in the Vietnam War that didn't do him any good. So I'm taking
Mm.
care of a sick husband. I'm having my own babies. I'm working like an immigrant. I had three, four little ugly jobs,
Mm.
and I got a baccalaureate. And I graduated, what was it, magna cum laude, summa, whatever.
Come
No, it
on.
wasn't summa. Yeah, I was like shocked myself. But what it was, I concentrated on what I knew was important.
Yes.
That's what I did. No diversions. And very, 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 if any, TV. To this day, I don't look at TV because they lied to you. And those programs are not necessarily put together for your intellectual development. Not at
Amen.
all.
Well, Dr. Regina, I sure wish we could talk longer, but we have reached the bottom of the hour. So,
Yes.
if you can just very quickly show us your books one more time and how we can find them.
Okay. Panther Poems. You ought to get that. Blacks in Race Defense. Poetry in the Black Panther Party, from ancestral memory, morphogenetic fields to hip hop. Look here. Go to my website, apanthersister.com. Apanthersister.com.
Yes.
Apanthersister.com. All my books are there, waiting for you.
Well, I am putting it in the chat because I want people to just be able to reach out to you and love on you the way I have. And like I said, you stuck with me. So just know that.
Good. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. And you are a true inspiration. And I just think that this was perfect that we were able to speak on Malcolm X's birthday.
Me too.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for that opportunity, Dr. Rhonda.
Thank you. You have a wonderful evening.
You too, dear.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye bye. All right, y'all. That was Dr. Regina Jennings. She is a member of the original Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. What a way to start off the show. But now I have another treat for you. Now we're going to meet Miss Sylvia Hubbard, and she is killing it in the fiction game. Hello, ma'am.
Hello, hello, hello.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. I'm blessed and breathing, so that's all I
Amen.
can say.
Amen to that. Amen to that. So, you know what? Let's go ahead and just start off. Tell the people who you are, because you have been in this literary game for a good little minute.
Yeah, it'll be my 25th year now, and
Wow.
so I started back in 2000 with my first book, and now I'm up to over 65 books of romance
65.
and
Wow.
of romance and suspense. And I
Mhm.
also lead the Motown Writers Network, which is an organization in Michigan where we help writers get to their literary goals and we connect readers to Michigan authors. So,
Wow. Okay. So you're pretty busy. This isn't. I mean, I love when I see authors who have taken their platform and just elevated it, and you're using it to actually inspire other authors. So, tell me a bit more about the organization and what you do with them.
so with Motown Writers Network, it pretty much started off as a kind of a selfish endeavor. I don't want to get my head too big with all the accolades. It was because I was too broke to buy other authors' programs. So I put up this website. I knew how to build like a website and I put it up and I would interview authors and then they would tell me all the secrets of their program that I wanted to know. So how to distribute books, how did they get their covers, how did they get it on the shelves? You know, that they happily answered those questions. And I, being a journalism major, I would write it down, do an interview, and post it to the website. And so I would just do this, go find an author, do an interview, and get all the secrets, and then post it to the website. And they were just so happy to be interviewed.
Wow.
And other people, I put a subscription button, and I was like, "Hey, if you want to join, join." And people were joining, and soon it just created into like an event. And I went to an event where I didn't know, like they said, put your name of your organization on your badge, and I was already part of the Detroit Writers Group. It was another Detroit Writers Group, so I put that on there. I'm walking around, and I see all these people with Motown Writers on their badge. And I'm like, oh my God, did I steal somebody's name? I got to go
It's
change the
you.
website.
It's you.
So I went up to this lady and I was like, hey, what is this Motown Writers? And she was like, oh my God, it's this fantastic group I found online and it has all these authors and they give you all this information on how to self-publish your book and how to market the book. And I was like, oh, I want to know more about it because I'm thinking I stole it from somebody who already doing something. Because I was like, I just made it up. I was like, let me call it this.
Girl, I'm about to hang up on you.
I was like, well, what's the name of the person? She was like, I think she here. Somebody said she here somewhere. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to change the name immediately. I am so in trouble.
This has got to be the most hilarious story I have ever heard.
She called this other guy over and she's like, well, what's the name? Because I had my name tag on, but it was over my jacket. And she's like, he's like, yeah, Sylvia Hubbard. And I was like, that's me. What are you talking about? Girl, I was because I never checked the stats. I had like 75 people on the mailing list, and people have been leaving comments and questions.
Wow.
And oh my gosh! So
And
it just
you
started
just started
building
this
from
movement by
there.
accident.
It was all. It was really selfish. It wasn't an accident. It was selfish. I just didn't want to pay the people. I had kids. I was a single mom. I couldn't afford no $29.99 program. What are you talking about?
Well, I think it's awesome that you did it that way because it's a great. I'll tell you, between this platform and Black Authors Matter TV, which I co-host on Tuesdays, I
Yeah.
have so much from other authors. Before I started
Right.
this, I didn't know what a cozy mystery was. I don't write mystery books. I
Right.
learned what a cozy mystery was just by interviewing authors.
Yes, and I learned so much back then. And this was before even ebooks were popular. And
Yeah,
other people saw that what I was doing and invited me to other places. And I started learning more about, e-commerce distribution, how ebooks are actually going to be working, all the future stuff. So it was kind of like I got ahead of my time. I was able to get out there and really understand the industry even before I started like doing a whole bunch of books or publishing books. I know about the
right.
marketing and about the e-commerce, and those are two things that authors cannot grasp right away. We get
Mm-hmm.
into the writing, we get into the publishing, but the marketing and the e-commerce is always like our bane. It's a thorn in our side. And I'm so
Right.
glad that I was broke and I had to learn it because I needed the money. but your message. So I ended up being able to do workshops and help other authors, and now I guess I would say I've helped publish over tens of thousands of books,
Wonderful.
to help authors just to get up and get that book published and get it marketed properly. And I would meet the women who had boxes and boxes of books in their garage, and we'd come up with plans to get these books sold, get money in their pocket. So it was a blessing to me to be able to do something like that.
That's amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Well, let me ask you this now. Are you a full-time author?
No, actually, I still work full time. I'm an IT support person, so
Wow.
I enjoy my job because I can work from home. I can work from anywhere. So it's like, you know what? They give me benefits, and my daughter, she's still young and she's in college, so she still needs, health insurance and things like
Mm-hmm.
that. So, it's nice to be able to help her out, with my benefit job,
Right,
but
right.
still be able to travel and do it. It's like I can keep a schedule. I don't know if I would keep a schedule if I was like, I'm not a good entrepreneur. I will admit, everybody like, oh yeah, I would love to sit at home, but you give air an opportunity to me, and I'll go to sleep. So. So this kind of keeps me focused, like, and then I'll be hurry up in writing because I'll write like 10,000 words in 3 days because I got to go back to work.
Right, right. And I have a full-time job as well, so I really feel everything that you're saying. And then some people are so amazed because I don't talk about my job very much on my social media. Most people think that all I do is what I do, and I
Right.
love what I do, but I love my day job as well. I just don't like to talk about my day job because I work for folks that people don't like. So I don't want to put it out there, and I don't feel like arguing with anybody. But no, I actually love my job, and I love what I do, but at the same time I also love writing. I love the art of the written word. I love being able to support other authors. And so this is my calling.
Right. Yeah. And that's the same thing. It's just, I do. And it's like, yeah, my day job is there. My love for this is there. And I'm so glad and blessed, that I can do both, and they make room for each other. And I always tell people, your
Yes.
gift will make room in your life if you let it. If you start
Yes.
focusing on your gift, everything, because I did not even know you could be this happy working from home. y'all done messed me up. I don't even want to go outside and look at anybody. I like, what? I can make this money looking from home and writing.
Right.
So, but you rarely ever meet people who say, "Oh, I like my benefit job." You rarely meet people, but yeah, I like it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want to quit right now. So, and
Right.
as long as you can balance both, it doesn't get away with my writing or my marriage, I'm pretty good.
Right, right. Well, see, I'm so glad to meet another full-time worker as well as author, because you're still a full-time author. You wrote 65 books, and you're running a writers group
Right.
that you
So yeah,
that you
I'm full
started by
time both.
accident.
No shame about it. Like, I did what I had to do back then, but
Yes.
now I love that I grew the group to what it is today. And we have thousands and thousands of members. And it's great to be able to go around Michigan and just educate writers on writing, publishing, and marketing, where, our literacy community, especially in the terms of being a writer, like drop to little to none education. And I'm so
Mm,
glad that I was there to help writers during that time when they needed the education to avoid
right.
predatory publishers, to avoid scams, to just to be able to understand, to do it right the first time without eating dirt all the times and become, were they disingenuous or just, disappointed with
Mm,
the process of it, because they'll mess up and then they'll be like, well, I don't want to do it no more. But you know what? You missing out on your blessings, because God gave you that book, and you don't want to get swallowed by a whale, because God will send one and come on the land and grab you, girl. So, and I try, I want people to get their message out, especially African Americans, especially us,
yes.
diverse groups, because our stories need to be told, fiction and nonfiction. And I love to just speak and educate. So, being able to give them that education, plus be able to write the books that I love to read, it's a dream come true. My kids are grown, girl. I'm loving life. I just
Come on
gotta
now,
get
come
on
on,
my.
empty nester. So now, do you have what's your most current book?
So my current book now. Okay, well, hold on. Let me think. What is it? Okay, I got it. I need to remember a child. Do I have that one? Okay, so it's Essence Divinity,
You don't
and
have the
it's.
book with you, I'm guessing.
No, I don't. When I saw her raise her book, I'm doing the refrigerator challenge where you got to put your book in the refrigerator. So I got all my books by the refrigerator.
Oh, wait a minute now. What? Wait, we gotta back up. I've never heard of this challenge.
Where you take something ridiculous out the refrigerator. So me and this other author, Kenya Mostime, we're doing the refrigerator. So every week we film a video of us taking one of our books out of the refrigerator, and then, flashing it up, getting the promo, and closing the refrigerator. Because, like, I don't know why people watch the videos.
Okay, see, I'm doing that. I'm going to put my book in the refrigerator tonight.
I was
I got a book right here I can put in the refrigerator.
when I saw her, I was like, dang, I can't run to the refrigerator. That's terrible. But I will make sure after we leave the thing, I'll put all the links in the chat so people can see. Or you can just go to my website right now, sylviahubbard.com. And it's
Yes.
the first blog post, and you'll see Essence Divinity.
Okay.
And this is basically about a man who's in a 6-year coma, and he
Mm.
wakes up with a 5-year-old son by his nurse. So, yeah.
What the nurse was doing him while he was. Oh,
So,
I need to get this book.
it's a lot of triggers. I will warn men and women.
You're not lying about that. I'm
So
reading this.
I wanted to do something not out of the box, but I just wanted to know, could it be done? And then I saw, well, what inspired me was it was Chris Brown. So, and I know that sounds like what? What? So this girl was
I have to have you on the show every week because this is hilarious.
she was for her night with Chris Brown, and I'm like, okay, I was just listening to it for noise, but then she got my attention when she was like, when he took off the condom, he put hot sauce in it and threw it in the trash, and that's because. And she went and said, he said some girl had taken his condom and tried to get it out the room so she can impregnate herself. So I went and did research, and I'm like, well, how long does that sperm last outside of the body? And then I'm like, okay. And I wrote all these notes down. And so I did one book with a turkey baster. And that's another book. It was called Her Substitute Husband, My Sister. But then I was still thinking about I'm still thinking about that concept. Like, okay, but if you put a coma, what happens? And it just progressed from there. And I was like, oh, you could get pregnant a lot of different ways from different men. Girl, I went down a dark rabbit hole and I was like, girl, this is a story.
You're so sweet.
I always tell people I'm bad on paper, so I could be good in life. And I got a lot of bad in me. I'm still in high school with the bad stuff. Girl, I got a long way to go. I get it all out.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna find something to forward to.
And Essence just wanted to be a mom so bad. And I kind of relegated to like how, once I became a mom, how it felt so good to be a mom. Because we don't talk about that anymore. We don't talk about everybody always I'm F these kids and I'm so sick and tired of them. COVID wore parents out completely. So I wanted to get back into that, like being a mom and just being a part of somebody's life and having those years with them and being the influence that they need. And that's what she wanted. And she could never get it, other ways. So she just said, you know what? He gonna die anyway. So why waste it? And she was like, boom, 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 let's try this. And then she needed a sibling because she like, can't be just one. Come on. So that's what determined him waking up, because the second time she actually did do it without the turkey baster. And I did the research and it can be done.
Wow.
So when they say men have a second brain down there, they actually do. It does not matter. It doesn't matter whether they're awake or asleep. So I was like, I went through this, and then in the book, I really wanted her not just to be the protagonist, but I wanted people to not hate her for it, and she needed to pay the consequences for her actions. And a lot of times when characters do stuff bad, they try to get them out of it. I was like, oh no, you gonna pay for this, because he was very vindictive. Osiris he was a very horrible man before he went into the coma, and he woke up an even grumpier, horrible man. And once he found out, he just went after her with a vengeance, and it was just fun. It was really fun. And I know that's horrible to say. But she did pay for the consequences for her actions, and that made me happy about it, but I was still able to do a happily ever after. I don't want people to get twisted.
Right.
I am always in for a happily ever after, so we're gonna get there one way or another. So
I love a good happily ever after. I just want it to feel realistic.
Yeah, and that's what I love, is that I cannot stand, and maybe because I'm from Detroit, and girl, it's drama up and down the block. but yeah, I feel like you should have a 3D kind of realistic happily ever after, where yes, we're gonna live happily ever after, but secretly I'm still kind of mad at you, but a good team. But you know what? There's some angry sex going on every once in a while, and you better be okay with it.
Not the angry sex. You are tripping out the men in the audience. Dedrick says, "See, it be the nice ones." And look, and Darren just said, "Damn."
Be the one with the glasses. But I tell people, I say, I'm bad on paper, so I could be good in life. And I think if I don't get these stories out my head that just take a turn, I just, I'd be a horrible person. So I just, y'all better be glad. So, because vengeance would be mine all day.
All right, now I'm
But
not
yeah,
mad at you.
but along with the romance, there is a suspense element because they have to figure out, who put Osiris in the coma and is his life still in jeopardy. So you're getting the elements of both of romance and suspense throughout the book. And that's
Okay.
pretty much how a lot of the majority of my books go. I always tell people I like to kill people and I like people to fall in love, not necessarily in that order. So So you're going to get a little bit of both. And I really enjoy it. What's been really fun about this book is that it has been a lot of men have started to pick up my books and catch up with like all the other people, all the women who have read me. So it's kind of fun because when I go to book clubs now, there are men there and I'm like, whoa, this is cool. This is kind of fun to have this whole new audience of men out there who are discovering me. So that's pretty cool. So,
well, now, where does a nice lady like you find these little dark stories?
Detroit. I'm gonna tell you, it's in the water, girl.
Every time I see somebody on TV who's from Detroit, they always say, "I'm from Detroit. I'm from Detroit." I'm
right.
like, okay. And there's a whole Love and Marriage Detroit on TV right now.
It's a thing. It is I would swear it's a personality. It's like you got to know they from Detroit because Detroit, we get mad if you say you from Detroit, but you don't pay Detroit taxes. You need to go somewhere. If you ain't paying Detroit taxes, you ain't from Detroit. Don't even, and even if you move away, you still you are a ex-Detroiter. You should say that.
I'm from New Orleans and we feel the same way. We didn't say anything about the tax thing, but there are certain ways we can tell if you're really from New Orleans or if you're from one of those little outer cities and you're just trying to claim New Orleans. We know.
Yeah. So yeah, we do. But yeah, I have like over 65 books that basically take place in Detroit and they're all romance suspense and you can see a lot of them all on my website. So I'm starting to funnel a lot of it and I'm still learning about more e-commerce options and how the new things that are coming on. So now I'm able to do ebooks, paperback books straight from my website where I can give out autographed copies. So I'm pretty excited. And then we're moving into audio books. So my husband is
just about to ask you that because see, I'm an audiobook girl. And you see, I don't have time. I'm either at work, I come home and I do the show, then I got to edit clients' books. I don't have time to sit down and just read a book for fun. So I have to listen to audiobooks while I'm exercising and while I'm driving. So I need you to turn your 65 million books into some audiobooks for me.
We are working on that. We were trying to go with, the different platforms out there, but they change so much in the terms and then what you're getting back from it. So I'm working on that. I'm like, okay, you know what? Once I do it, y'all gonna be so proud of me. Y'all gonna be like, oh,
you gonna voice them yourself?
Are
you gonna voice them yourself?
No, I'm not gonna voice them, my girl. No, because my sarcasm would leak out too much. I can't do it. No, I will not torture y'all like that.
That's so funny. Now, see, because I want to turn my books into audio as well. I don't have nearly as many books as you have. I'm a 24-time published author, but I want to turn my novels and my novellas into audio books. And I do know that Amazon or KDP is offering this thing where you can do it with AI, but I don't want my story sounding all robotic. So I don't know if I want to use that just yet.
Right. And then I did do a couple of them using the Google Play Store, and then you can download the audio for yourself. They use AI too. But you can go in and make sure all the inflections are there and read
Okay.
through it and make sure and change stuff. And you can do the same thing with Kindle, with their Kindle stuff. But have you ever had Alexa read your book? You should
It
try.
doesn't sound robotic.
Girl, she get all into it. I had her
What?
read like this. Girl, it was a rating of 10 hot heat symbols, and they was going in every hole available, and she was all into it. She was cussing with them. She was going, oh, oh, oh. I was like,
Okay, I'm gonna have to try it. I'm gonna have to try it.
so tell her, like, just say, hey, girl. I don't want to say it because she's sitting right here. So just say, hey, read, and then say your book, and then she'll start reading it, and then just see how she sounds.
Okay, so the book, it's any book. It doesn't have to actually already
It
be
can
an
be
author.
any book that you own that you've already bought from another author. Say you bought Kennedy Ryan's book, the ebook, and you can just tell her, hey, go read Kennedy Ryan, blah, 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 and say the book name, and she'll just start reading it.
Oh, okay. Because I
Yeah.
have some ebooks that I haven't gotten to yet. This is a good way to listen to my ebooks.
Yeah, and you can even tell her to read faster, so you can hear it really fast.
Girl, you just said something. See, this is the reason why I do this show, because I learn stuff from different people. I did not know that this was a thing.
Yeah, because when I'm driving long distance, I'll find like how many hours somebody book is, and I'll make sure it's the same as my drive time, so that I can just enjoy a whole book while I'm driving on the road, and it's just so good. So, like, if you guys do have my ebook, you have her. We can't say her name because she's right here, and she'll start talking. But if you have her, then yeah, just say it, and then say my name, say the title of the book, and then she'll just start reading it. So yeah.
All right, I'm sure gonna try it, but you know what? Unfortunately, it is now 8 o'clock. Yeah, but I'm telling you, it has been a blast. I already knew this was gonna be a fun interview. When I first messaged you and said, "Why don't you come on the show?" You had me laughing then, so I already knew this was gonna be a good show. But now, remind the people how they can find your books and how they might be able to reach out to you.
So you can always go to my website, sylviahubbard.com, and then click the book tab, and you can find all my books. I do have a new book coming out, Delilah's Desire, in July, and that's about a woman taking her fiance's dad. That's a whole nother show. But
Okay, you're gonna have to come back on the show in July, okay?
But then you can also find me all over social media at Sylvia Hubbard 1 on mostly all social media. So I'm pretty much everywhere.
Well, all right. Thank you so much. Had a great time talking with you. Best wishes on the current book as well as the new book coming out in July. Keep doing what you're doing and keep inspiring authors.
Thank you so much for having me and doing what you do.
Thank you so much. And hey, tell some of your authors to come on the show. I would love to talk with them too.
Definitely. I'm gonna send them your way in my group. So I'll send out a notice and say, hey, contact you for it. Or just send me an email with like what you want me to say and how they can contact you, and we'll go from there. I'll gladly blast it out.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem, love. You're beautiful, of course.
Thank you. Same to you. All right. You have a wonderful evening. Take
you
care.
Too. Bye-bye. Bye, everyone.
All right, y'all. I told you it was going to be a good show tonight. You have met two amazing, outstanding authors doing two totally different types of work, but still with the same passion for literacy. And that's what this show is all about. So thank you for joining us. I hope you had a great time. If you're an author and you'd like to be on the show, come talk to your girl. Just message me on any of the platforms that you might be watching me on right now, and I will make sure I answer you, and I'll send you the link so you can schedule yourself to be on the show. A basic interview is free, but if you really want to take it to the next level, There are a couple of paid options that you can do as well. And we also have the Right to Win writers community. And you need to make sure that you are a part of this community. We are doing some great, amazing things where I'm giving out free worksheets, free checklists. If you're a member, you get free access to all of my courses. You really want to be a part of this. So no excuses. Go ahead and join the Right to Win writers community and just see what's going on. Go ahead and get this free game. Thank you so much, Reborn the Book Series, Tori. I'm really glad that you were able to join tonight. I always love you. You're always a blast. And you know you're always welcome back to the show as well. Also, before I go, don't forget, if you were in the DC area, we are doing Books and Wine Pride Month edition at Urban Grape Winery. This event is absolutely free. All you have to do is click on this link to reserve your tickets, and you'll get to meet these authors who are up here. And this author right here, that first author, Beautiful Lawson, is releasing her new book, her new poetry book, Things We Tell. I am so super proud of her, and you'll be able to get you can pre-order the book, or you can come out to Urban Grape Winery and get a copy of the book, and she will sign it for you. So we're doing some amazing things. That's all I'm going to say. We are doing some amazing things in 2025. I am so happy that Urban Grape Winery invited me to come back and to bring some more authors with me. So we're going to have a good time on June 5th, and I want to make sure I see you there. But other than that, that's all for tonight. So God bless you. Thank you once again for supporting this show and helping it to grow. We have actually reached over 200,000 views on YouTube, and it's still continuing to grow. So help us to reach 1,000 subscribers. If you've not subscribed to us on the YouTube channel, what you waiting on? Just go ahead and get your life. Hit that subscribe button and then the notification bell so you know every time we're having a new show. And join us. Help us to grow. Help us to soar, because we're doing some great things over here at Meet the World Image Solutions. All right, y'all. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night on Black Authors Matter TV. And then I'll see you again right back here next week for a new edition of the Horizons Author Lounge. You guys have a wonderful evening. Have a great week. And God bless you. Bye-bye.